I'm Heyzeus, and in this video, we are going to be looking at a guy who's appeared from pretty much out of nowhere to become one of the biggest skin collectors in the game in less than 1 week. Not only collecting what has got to be the craziest inventory I've ever seen, but also whipping up a literal storm of controversy in the process and causing all sorts of crazy speculation throughout the community. What's going on? Well, that is what I want to try and shine some light on. So let's get on with the video. Now, during the early days of CSGO, it was pretty common for people to come into the community and start throwing around money like there was no tomorrow, quickly turning their names into legend before disappearing almost as quickly as they appeared. These days, a lot of these people are barely remembered, but one guy that is remembered is a man called Darkness, a Brazilian player who appeared out of nowhere in 2017, dropped $500,000 on CSGO skins, and then disappeared. Now, this on its own isn't too special. He's not the only guy who's done that, but what was special about this case was the fact that McSkillet ended up making a video on the guy. A video where he made a joke that Darkness was selling stuff that would get this video demonetized. Now, eventually it turned out Darkness wasn't actually doing that. Years later, another trader called Onopixel tracked Darkness down, and it turned out he'd made his money through crypto instead. Was it made honestly through crypto? I have no idea, but what was clear was that he was definitely trying to liquidate a bunch of crypto. Now, 4 years later, it is almost like history is repeating itself because we have another mysterious collector who has appeared from out of nowhere and is throwing around his bitcoins like there's no tomorrow. His name is Lunar. All we know for certain is that he's from Russia. He joined Twitter 1 week ago, and since then, he has purchased $1.3 million of CSGO skins. And that's pretty much all the hard information we have right now. Twitter is currently rife with jokes about whether he's a Mafia Boss or an oligarch or Russian royalty. We'll go with Mafia Boss. This is kind of an homage to McSkillet's old video, so I think that's probably the closest equivalent. So let's have a closer look at what this Mafia Boss is actually doing. Well, Lunar appears to be into two main things. One of them is getting attention on Twitter, and the other is gloves. Lots of gloves. Lots and lots of gloves. 252 pairs at the time I recorded this, and that number only seems to be going up. And not just any gloves either. He really seems to like the Moto Gloves Blood Pressure and the Driver Gloves Black Tie. Why those? I have no idea, but he is devouring the entire world supply. There are only 459 minimal wear blood pressures and 460 minimal wear black ties. Lunar owns 25% of these blood pressures and 30% of these black ties. And the number he owns seems to be rapidly increasing, and price is no obstacle either. The dude is literally saying he wouldn't care if it was twice as expensive. So I don't know where this is going to end up, but it's definitely some insane monopoly on a weird selection of gloves. But that's not all he's busy with, because he's also busy destroying one-of-a-kind Cannavisa 2014 souvenir skins. Obviously it's subjective. If he ruined it, it's his skin. He can do what he wants, but Twitter was not happy with him. Apparently people like this candy apple. Oh well, what he's done cannot be undone. Now, on top of this, Lunar has also picked up one of the craziest collections of knives in the game, probably just because he can. It's really only a side detail in this inventory. See? Look, blue gem. Oh, and he's also done pretty much the largest trade in CSGO history. Yeah, so a few days ago, he pinged a Chinese investor that he wanted to buy his 8 Titan Hollows. 36 hours later, he bought them for a price of $500,000, which, at the very least, is the second biggest trade in CSGO history. There's one trade in China that was supposed to be 780k, but a lot of people speculated that price might be exaggerated, so this price is at least the second biggest and maybe even the biggest trade in the history of the game. So quite an achievement list for such late starter. In fact, it really makes you wonder, what's actually going on here? Random guy from Russia rocks up and starts doing stuff like this. Surely there is more to this story, and I want to see if I can figure it out. So firstly, Lunar is pretty open about his motivations. He's in this stuff for the long haul. He's a committed long-term investor, and he's very confident a lot of this stuff will keep on going up. In fact, he's so confident he's literally asking sellers to push the price up for him right now so he can buy at a higher price, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone do before, but whatever. Often long-term investors can be very short-term when they suddenly get offered a good price, but I do kind of find this a bit credible, and you'll see why in a second. So, Lunar claims he has a background from the very early days of crypto. I can't verify that one way or another. Awfully convenient if he does, I will say, but what definitely is true is that he does have a lot of it. That part is real. He has a ton of crypto, and crypto isn't looking too hot at the moment. There's reasons why you might want to get out of it into a different type of investment, preferably without being slapped with taxes along the way, and skins are the perfect way to do that. So this part of what Lunar is doing makes complete sense to me, but there is something else he's doing that I find a bit more interesting. So according to Lunar, he has a secret main account, and this is the alt he's using for investing to keep them separate. He doesn't want attention on his main, but one thing is certain, he definitely wants it on that alt. During last week, he's given away $9,500 of skins and stickers. He's also managed to get in a public Twitter beef with Prodigy. They've since managed to patch it up. In fact, as I was making this video, Lunar bought a Titan Hollow off Prodigy, so I will leave out the details. I don't think we need to bring it up again. And he's also just been generally active and engaging with people a lot, including some of my stuff. So clearly he wants to build a following. And while there's nothing wrong with doing that, the fact that he is doing it is making me suspicious about who the guy behind this account really is. First of all, can I just point out that even though he's from Russia, he speaks extremely clear English. Now, obviously being Russian does not stop you from doing that, but it is somewhat unusual. Clearly, whoever it is has spent a lot of time speaking or at least writing English. I would say probably on a daily basis. And secondly, there is a real element, almost of professionalism to how he markets himself. He's got this simple but very clear bio, he knows how to run giveaways, he knows how to do little events to hype people up, and the way he acts in general kind of looks like it's someone who's used to having a decent sized audience and knows how to handle it. Not to mention he's got the confidence to actually get into a beef with someone like Prodigy, even though he's only been around for a week. It doesn't feel like he's new to this, it looks like he's had plenty of experience, and that is all making me think whoever is running this account is probably reasonably well known. He might not be a mafia boss, but I do have a suspicion he's the boss of something else, and time will tell if we find out the truth. But if we do, I feel like it's going to be quite the twist. But enough about his identity, let's go back to his inventory, because what this guy is doing to CSGO skins is pretty insane in its own right. Before he came along, the most a Titan Hollow had ever sold for was $45,000. This guy bought 8 of them. They're $62,500 each. That's nearly a 40% increase in the price in one go, and it gives him access to one of the largest stores of these things in existence. And he's also driving up the price of certain gloves just for shits and giggles, like it seems like he finds it just kind of funny to do so. And one thing I overlooked earlier is that he's busy poaching a bunch of one-of-a-kind knives as well. Like, he's got the best condition Stat Track Talon Knife Black Pearl in the world, he's got the best condition Talon Knife Crimson Web in the world, he's got the worst condition Stat Track M9 Bayonet Black Pearl, and if we go to gloves, it's more of the same. I mean, look at this, he's got the second best condition Driver Gloves King Snake, he's got the, what else did he have? He's got second best condition Moto Gloves of Blood Pressure, he's got the second best condition Driver Gloves Black Tie. He's not just going for the bulk buy, he's also picking up rare collector's pieces as well. And what this tells us is that at the end of the day, no matter who this guy is, he's clearly a dedicated CSGO person who is deeply invested in the game, because if he was just treating it as a money sink, he wouldn't care about random collectibles like that, but clearly he does, and he's made his goals pretty clear too. He wants that crown, and I think he's going to keep on spending and spending and spending until he has the best inventory in CSGO, which probably means there's only going to be more and more crazy stuff. I think HFB's inventory is $3 million or something at this point, so there is a long way to go, but I suspect he's going to make it. And even if he doesn't, if crypto keeps on gradually declining, it's likely we're going to see more and more lunars coming into CSGO and spending more and more money, probably resulting in crazier and crazier things. And as a final note, I hope the truth about Lunar does come out one day, because I think it's going to be a very interesting story, and I for one would love to make another video on it. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe, massively appreciated. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Heyzeus, thanks for watching, see ya. Oh wow, Ruffle Monster's figured out who he is.